another day working on the Daihatsus. Gonna work on the new one. Well, that's ungood. You know, if it wasn't so rusty, I'd be a lot happier. Anywho, so I've done a bit of stuff. I sort of half got the fuel pump working, running the click-clack and the rebuilt carb, and it had run, but not real good. So I've ordered a fuel pump, and I ordered a replacement carb. So, well, I pulled the top of the carb off. The accelerator squirter wasn't working. So, okay. I've got another plunger out of the other carb, but it wasn't real good either. And the gasket had a rip in the lid. I pulled the jets out, cleaned all the passages, and it still didn't run very good. Replacement carb's like $120 odd shipped to your door. So it's the exact same carb I put on that the other, a couple of videos ago. The last video. Same fuel pump I ordered for that as well. But the one issue I'm probably going to have is that's a 3K motor and this is a 4K. I don't know if they take different fuel pumps. I never looked into that. I'm sure that'll only be a problem when it's a problem. But anywho, bye. I'm sure the lawnmower picked that up. I even pulled the boosters out and I cleaned all them. It was still not running real good. The idle, or the mixture jet, the tip was bent, so I robbed it out of the other carb over there to get a non-bent one to try and, you know, get it so it actually adjusts mixture. It still wouldn't. And typically with when you've got any jetting issues, if you wind the mixture screw all the way in and it still runs, that's a problem. Because with the mixture screw all the way in, it shouldn't be getting fuel, it shouldn't run at all. So it's a bit hard to tune when it's not running properly. So just put another carb on it and away we go. So I'm going to get the fuel pump, we'll fit that, and then we're going to stick the carb on. And maybe it'll go broom and like idle and do stuff. Well, pretty much what that did, I put a new carb on it, and geez Louise, she's just a gem now. Gotta pull my finger out and actually finish that thing. And that thing. Yep. It's too many Daihatsus. What is it with just like every flat surface having to be just covered in shit? So now that's my workbench. Anyway, remember just then when I said the fuel pump maybe will fit? Well, it don't. And I've had to do some fucking butchery. So this is the original fuel pump. That's a new fuel pump. I should have filmed it, but I didn't because I was just sort of riffing, making it happen. The issue was the lever arm on this one was wrong. And it was straight. So I bolted that in anyway and went, maybe it'll be fine. Turns out it wasn't. I don't even know what I'd done with the other original lever arm. So it broke. So I've gutted my original plan was I was going to pull the diaphragm out of this and then put it in the original fuel pump. But then the hookup of the lever arm to the diaphragm is different in this one to that one. Oh, God. So, I would not recommend this because the lever arms are hardened and this is probably going to crack and be an issue. But what I've done is I've gutted the lever arm out of that. The pivot pin dimensions and diameter are the same. So I've punched it out and I've cut and welded the original fuel pump lever arm into the replacement fuel pump's lever arm. Probably a terrible idea. But we're here now and I want it to run, so yeah, and all fun. And the issue with the original fuel pump was the diaphragm, like I suspected, is just dead. It's perforated, so it's still pump fuel, but it weeped, which means it doesn't pump at the correct pressure. So I now got to put that in. The other issue is I don't know if you can see, the mouths are a little bit different. Which also means the gasket's a little bit different. So I'll maybe try and tease this off of here, because the gasket comes with this. There's a Bakelite spacer going into the block, and I've just trialed the gasket, and it's like not even barely touching the bottom. So that's definitely going to be a leak, potentially. Come with two gaskets, they're both the same. Here's the second one. So I'll bring this in and I'll show you up against the old fuel pump. The big old difference there. Yeah, so it's going to be sealing by like 2 millimeters. So I'm thinking if I gently rob that gasket off, we might be all right. And if that don't work, I'll use the new gasket and some RTV to seal in the bottom and pretend I ever did that. So let's go with that. Couldn't get the gasket off, so I've gone with goop, but this is a different goop. It's if you remember the old school stag joining paste, it's non-hardening, so it sort of stays a bit, it's pretty rigid, but it stays a bit soft-ish, so that might help take up some of the variance. And the lever arm goes up on top of the cam lobe, so you got to sort of scoop her up in there without, you know, breaking it like I did when I first fitted it. That's fine. Can't wait for this thing to like have fuel without having to use that click clack. It's going to be amazing. I'm not a big fan of click clacks. I've had quite a few issues and it's been because of click clack pumps. Mainly because, yes, they put out 4 to 6 psi, but they don't put out a lot of flow. So people put them on to help their diesel out or something like that, and then at higher RPM they start starving and carrying on. They're like, I don't know what's wrong with the truck. It's like, yeah, it was your fuel pump that you've added in. Give it a little bit more oomph. Now I've got to go get the jump pack. I should put a clamp on that, but I won't. Navigate my way. I say all the flat surfaces are covered in shit. That also includes the floor. Floor covered in shit too. That's not even my fucking hedger. Test fucking block for the rock crawler, that's probably never going to get done. All the fun stuff. Land Cruiser springs for the back of Sarge when I inevitably decide to put 35s back on it and actually want it to flex. All the fun stuff. 35s I've had for, golly, probably a decade or more. Nah, more. I've been down here for a decade. I bought them. I was still living with mum and dad when I bought them. Back when you could get I bought 6 35-inch Trepidors for Sarge, and they were $2,500. That's how long ago it was. Try and do that now. Jump pack on, connected. Okay, let's see if we get some fuel. None power. Why none power? I don't even have oil light. Interesting. Oh, I forgot about the rust in the windscreen. God, it just pissed me off again. Jump pack on. Okay, them clamps striking yet again. Fuck me. Well, I feel it blowing. Let's try this click-clack fuel pump. Okay. Okay. I'm going to put this back on the charge. We have fuel to the pump now and it does want to pump, so put the jump pack back on the charge and yeah, check this out. I put the stickers on Sarge. Sarge is Sarge because it's got stars on the doors, and the heat's buggered them up. They've all fallen off. Originally I painted them back when I first put it together. This one's completely come off, so I might use that as like a template on where the masking tape goes, and I might have to just paint them because they never fell off when they were paint. New carb life. Haha. One thing I might have to do is, I think this Corolla throttle cable's got a bigger ball, so I might have to change that out to the one that's on here. They're pretty much the exact same layout though, so that's good. But it's a little fiddling because it's got this return spring in there. This whole thing is a unit, so it's a bit of mucking around, but that's just the way she goes, I guess. It's like the it's just going to clamp on there. Alright, we're good. I find it hilarious that they don't pre-form the bend there. You got to do it yourself just to hang on to the choke cable. But for $100 and something odd carb, what do you expect, I guess? Choke off, choke cable all the way out. Okay. Battery pack on. Do we have reds? Yes, we do. All right. Okay. Might have to revisit this once this jump pack charges up. Use a clickety clack to prime the carb, maybe that might help. Come on, you tired old darling. Bloody hell. Leave that click going for a little bit, and we'll see if we're getting any accelerator pump. Yes, we are. We are now. Right here. So the bowl must be full enough for accelerator pump. I didn't knock a coil lead off or anything silly. That's all still on. That's right here. So it should start then. Might just be cranking too slow. Yeah, it's probably just cranking too slow. That's annoying. I also didn't have the choke on, which probably didn't help. Give it a minute. Yeah, all right. Well, that's that. I'm gonna have to charge that thing for a while. Oh, well, I've got some house cleanup to do, so I'll do that now, and then we'll come back to this. All right, back from doing a bit of spring cleaning, summer cleaning, whatever. Cleaning up underneath there a bit and around the house. Still got to do out the front, but I think we might have a bit of juice in this jump pack now. A couple of pumps, even though it's probably already flooded. Oh yeah. She needs more idle. Oh, we're nearly there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is it. Put that vacuum advance port on. Well, she revs like a saw machine, this old rig. Not sure what that squealy noise is. But it's working. Pretty happy with it. Probably the fan belt maybe squealing. It's something anyway. Jump back off, so the alternator's charging. Mad. Doesn't even blow any smoke like it's too rich, which is pretty fat. Lit straight off too, as soon as I had a bit of crank. How good. How good. With oil pressure, brake lights doesn't work because it's broke off. It's only for a handbrake anyway, so this should come off if I touch this ground. And it doesn't, so the bowl's probably busted. Mad. A tidy little rig, other than the rust in it. Did the headlights work? Did I work out if the headlights worked last time? Or was that the thing, one of the things? That might have been one of the things. Mad. Right, I'll just pop the fan belt off because the alternator's out of adjustment. This thing's shiny as on the sides. You can sort of see where it's been too deep into the groove. So I'm thinking the squeak's probably the fan belt, but let's check. I hope it is. Or not. wonder what's squeaking there. Thrust bearing? Put my foot on the clutch, see what it does. Thrust bearing. Yep. Thrust bearing. Decided to wake the rig up. It's been parked for that long, the battery's dead flat. So I've had to run a jumper wire to the coil. These electronic distributors, when the voltage is too low, the cranking pulls too much power away from the coil, it doesn't fire a spark, so you run a jumper wire and it'll get you going. But this thing's been parked for, oh god, probably 12 months actually, longer. Still sounds like an absolute demon. Oh god. Oh, it's just so even. I love it. What do you do? It's going on club rego, so I wasn't really worried about it getting it blue, like pink slipped and that. And then I broke this output or input sleeve or whatever for the gearbox, the big thrust bearing rides on. Again, they've I've got an upgrade part. It's cast iron now. But then I was sort of pondering about changing the entire clutch setup, so I haven't really done anything about it. The clutch is still broken. It does move, but it's not good. But yeah, well, fuck it. Saturday, wanted to start it up. Well, Fairlane's back up on jack stands. I know yesterday, well it's Sunday today, I know yesterday said I was thinking about changing the clutch setup and that's why I've left it broken for so long, and decided to just bite the bullet and put the spigot back in it. And we'll worry about doing the clutch stuff later, because I miss driving it. It's a pretty fun car. Yeah, just hit it with the David Freiberger. Don't get it right, just get it running. So that's what we're going to do. Everything else works on it, it's just the cable clutch has always felt pretty stiff, but I hear the cable clutches in the V8s, in these, and XYs and that were very stiff, so that's just the way they are, I think. That's why in later generations they went to hydraulic. And then back to cable, because that's AU stuff and it's cable. Weird. Ford Australia for you. Throwing just random parts at stuff. Anyway, so we've got the Melwood's Automotive T5 upgrade spigot, or whatever you want to call it. So it was $160 shipped, and instead of being aluminium, it's cast iron, and it comes with a new seal. There's a few checks you got to do, because apparently depending on the T5, that spigot can actually go through the pressure plate and touch the back of the clutch disc, so you got to make sure that's right. It also makes sure to tell you to put seal in, and then this one's designed for the tapered roller bearing. There's also a needle roller set up with a thrust bearing, so you got to know what your gearbox is. But I've already done this once, so I knew which one it was. So there's two different types. You got to make sure which one you've got. But yeah, pretty cool. Weird. Bit of cast iron swarf just come out of the middle of that. I hope that's not foreshadowing. That just come out of there. Why were you in there? That doesn't look important. And look at the machining marks on the outside. I'm going to say it's a bit of swarf from when they cut it and it just got caught in there and they missed it. Get off. So, yeah, in here's different depending on which bearing you got. So that's to suit the tapered roller, like an axle bearing. Rubbish. And then obviously we've got the lip seal as well that goes in there. Funky. So this should fix the issue of it breaking off. Now when I eventually go to a hydraulic setup, I think I've got to replace this again. Or there's adapter kits where it sits over here and then you replace one of these bolts with like a pin to stop the hydraulic thrust spinning. But I'll see which one I pick in the future. Okay, with the tail shaft out, you can see some of the butchery I had to do. A little bit anyway. Pull this stub out. See, that's cut off. that poked out another, I don't know, 10 mil and had a taper on it. Unfortunately, the yoke on the Fairlane meant that 10 mil was bottoming out and not letting the tail shaft go in. So quick fix, we cut that 10 mil off. But what I've been worried about is that's obviously a square edge now and it's hardened steel. So I'm worried about, with the yoke travelling in and out of the gearbox, is that chewing the yoke up. So with the box out, I might pop the tail housing off and then grind a lead in on that as well and maybe square it up, because it's been cut it crooked as all fuck. But yeah, just one of them things. Exact same spline count as C4 though, so that's rad. And if I had time, I could have just had the tail shaft cut down and it would have been right, but I didn't have time, so we just cut the output on the T5. Yeah, the things you do in desperation, I guess. I was undoing this and I thought I should clarify. So we hacked the back of the T5 because we put the XH Ute diff in, because I blew the ZH diff up. So the tail shaft fit with the ZH diff and the T5, so that was alright. Put the XH diff in. I even put the ZH yoke on it because it's the same spline count, but the physical length of the pinion is longer. So that gave us the issue with having to butcher the back of the T5, because this diff is actually longer here to the center line of the axle. So that was the problem. And the XH yoke was even longer again. So we put the ZH yoke, which made it a little better, but it still had to take 10 mil off the output shaft for the gearbox. So that's the reason. So if you do put a T5 in a ZH, it does fit, but the ZH diff's not real strong anyway, so you either use a XH Ute diff, which bolts straight in, or I hear AU Wagon as well, which has a better center and it still has the 28 spline axles. But I had access to an XH Ute diff, so that's what we used. But that caused the issue with the tail shaft problem. It was the diff, because with the ZH stuff in it, it worked fine. Anyway, I got the exhaust half unbolted. I got to undo the collectors up there and get them out. Apparently I did. Wow, that is decisively tight. I got it wriggling, so that's a good sign. Bastard. I thought that's what size these were. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. That's looking good. I'm pretty sure I don't have to pull the clutch fork or anything out. It stays with the bellhousing, but I've been wrong before. Right, cross member out. Now I vaguely remember these T5s being fairly light, so hopefully I can just bench press this thing out. Yes. Oh wow, it's all bad in there. Come here and have a look-see. Up. Got a broken tooth off the pressure plate. There's the no, spigot's come out of it. That's not good. This is all bad. Aluminium mess in there. That's very interesting. I'm going to do nothing about that. I don't have a clutch with me. Okay. Might as well pull the fork out because we're here now. I thought I just got that cable out. Take it out that way. Alright. Fingers on the fork are a little bent, but not too terrible. then give me the thrust bearing, and oh yeah, that's really bad. So blew that whole thing apart. Cracked the whole thing. That's bad. Okay. What other goodies we got in here? Nothing, thankfully. Oh no. Oh no. That's bad. The actual entire mount for the ball and the bellhousing is broke off. Oh shit. Huh. Oh, that's really bad. Wow, that's a whole lot more work than I wanted to do today. Have it. I'm not worrying about the bellhousing right now, because yeah, task one was to fix this. Shaft's not bent, so that's good. Good up and down play, but they do because it's taper roller bearing. There's no in and out, which is okay. So I just got to change out that end piece basically, and put the cast iron one on, and that should be about it. Oh, and I'm going to sort out that tail spline. That'll be the gearbox done, and then I'll pull the bell housing off and think a while on what I want to do, because it was supposed to just be this and then put it back together, but the clutch fork's fucked, the thrust bearing's fucked, and the bell housing's fucked now too. So yeah, the fingers on these spring fingers, I can probably bend them back in, but this is rattly and it's all burred up. It sounds like shit, so great. Okay, let's see if we can pop this housing off. I glued it on pretty hard last time. Oh yeah. Bingo. Okay. Whoops. I think I fell out of that. Oh no. Oop. I was wondering why it was rattling. That inner bearing looks dead. And it's very blue there, where the synchro sits. Mad. That's really mad. Yep. That's bad. Can you see that? Yeah, that's really bad. Okay. Feels like the hard facing's coming off. I think I have another one of these. Pretty sure I pulled one out of a dead T5 just to hang on to. Maybe that's why. It's got a chipped tooth. I'm going to dig around and see if I can find my other input shaft. Hopefully that's just hard facing shelling off, and we might be alright. That's sort of what it looks like. Okay, there we have it. There's my spare input, and looks pretty good. No gluing up here. There's no like metal transfer on the inside there. Race at the bottom looks fine. I should probably change that race out to match the one on the end of that, but I'm not gonna. I've got that prepped and ready to go. Just got a bit of donut jelly around it because I don't have any RTV. Got the synchro back in there. That feels a lot more solider than the one that was in there, so that's got to be something. And then this was set up with the big slot at the bottom for the oil drain. So we'll just gently slide that back on. Line these holes up. Oh, that's way better. And that's not even done up yet. So, bolt this back on. And that'll be this sort of done. It's a shame I can't put the rest of it back together, but oh well. Not like I was planning on driving it anytime soon, I just wanted to fix it. Okay, that's that back in. No in and out, and it got a little bit up and down, but that's what the spicker bush is for. So it's actually way better than it was. Wondering what's wrong with this one, why it was flopping around. I'll keep it as a spare anyway, because these T5s do have a habit of breaking the input shaft. But no, a little weird. Bring this wire back up to there. That's for the electric bloody speedometer drive. I might still wire that in, but that's future work. Now that's that done. I'm going to box that up, and then it just gets pushed back up against the garage door again. I've got to buy a whole bunch of parts I really want to buy yet. And I'm trying to save up as much money as I can to buy a house. I'm going to have to spend like $1,000 on the clutch setup for this now. So, fun. That's exactly what I wanted to do. But, oh well, I'll just do it the proper way now, instead of slapping it back together. Okay, see if you can see what's brought this whole show to a standstill. That casting boss is what hangs onto the pivot ball for the clutch fork. And you see how it doesn't have a bottom on it anymore? Yeah, means I can't put a pivot back in it. It means the bellhousing's wasted. Like, you could weld it back together and let it to Ben just then, and he's like, well, if you're going to throw it out, give it to me and I'll repair it. But if I'm pulling my bellhousing off, I might as well do it the proper way and do what I want, go to the hydraulic clutch and all that fun stuff to make it nicer to drive again. So, yeah, that puts this on a big hold. I'll have to start. On my old phone I had a bunch of like internet tabs open with all the parts I needed to do this, and well, that phone's gone now, so I've now got to redo all that research again, so it's good fun. Yeah, pretty annoyed, but oh well. That's the way she goes. So I'll get this thing off the jack stands, push it back up, and that'll probably be it for this video, because I don't really feel like working on anything anymore. So we'll catch us on the next one. God knows what I'll be working on. Maybe Daihatsu again. They seem to just be easier.